My friends and I randomly decided a week ahead of time we were going to New York. Somehow I've lived in the United States my entire life and never been to the iconic city of New York. I've been to many cities in the United States. New York is easily, by far, the most giant one. I mean, just on the plane, you could see city endlessly. It was kind of crazy. On arrival in New York, we pretty much headed straight to the play called The Great Gatsby. It was really cool. I don't know how people coordinate dancing like that and singing and acting. I will say, however, the story was not insane. Maybe it was just because it was limited to a Broadway play, I'm not sure. But other than that, it was probably one of the coolest live shows I've ever been to. After that, we walked around in Times Square. I was just in my short sleeves because, I don't know, it didn't really seem that cold to me. Later, my friend almost got his wallet violated by an Elmo scammer trying to take his money. But here's a trick, guys. All you have to do to get the scammers to go away is walk up to them and tell them you have no money. As soon as you say that, they are completely not interested in you, which I am honestly completely fine with. Times Square is one of those places that's more like a gimmick. The best way to describe it is like being on a sketchy website. It's loaded with ads and you gotta be careful what you click on or who you talk to. When we started walking back to our hotel, I was a little bit worried I was gonna get mugged because this random guy in this shadowy doorway just steps out and says, "Hey, do you wanna buy a Rolex?" Just a tip for anyone, do not buy Rolexes from random people on the street in New York. I don't really know what would have happened if I had decided to buy the Rolex, but I don't really wanna find out. Another thing that was really cool that I didn't realize until later after Jay Schlatt posted a video, but we stayed in the exact same hotel as him. I even got to go up into the same room. Now that was pretty cool. The next day might have been my favorite because we went on this super tall building called the Top of the Rock. It was kind of insane. I don't think I've ever been that high up in a city skyline before. The views were completely insane. I got amazing video of Central Park, even the Empire State Building. Another thing that was kind of underrated, a little sketchy, but really fun to do, is just walk around the city, even if you don't really know where you're going, and just see what you stumble upon. We ended up stumbling upon some justice buildings that were pretty cool, and it was pretty surreal to see the city with nobody really walking around. We found this really funny billboard that said, findmohammedawife.com. I'm not exactly sure what it was, but I'm guessing it's some sort of Amazon for Muslim men. Seeing the Statue of Liberty was also really cool. It's kind of something you only see in movies and TV, and it just seems fake. But then you go there and you're like, oh, this is a real thing, and it's actually a big statue. I was also really excited to see the Nintendo store, and it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen, which is what I would say if it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little disappointed with the Nintendo store. The best thing in there was just the display of old Nintendo consoles. I will say though, they did have the most insane exclusive merch. A gray hoodie that said Nintendo New York on it. Though we only stayed in New York for a couple days, we got a ton of stuff done, and I definitely think we got a lot of the New York experience. But next time I go, I want to spend a lot more time walking around and exploring. Although a little bit of a crazy town, New York is a truly beautiful city, and I definitely would want to go back at some point. I would never want to live there though.